Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for yesterday's 2-1 defeat on the road against lowly Peterborough United. Yeah, not the morning, that's a complete lie. The late afternoon after the day before. I just thought I'd reflect on the game again because I watched it back and I've got other people's perspectives who were at the game and just a couple of little things I missed out. It's a difficult one yesterday to know where to lie the blame, or is there any blame to be laid at anyone's feet at all, or is this just where we are as a club? Because this inconsistency hasn't just existed under Gary Rowett. As much as I'd like to pin it solely on Rowett, I don't think you can. However, there was times yesterday where I did feel that he could have helped himself out, but he didn't. And once again, is he the man for the job? Millwall's completely vanilla with him in charge. And it's at breaking point, I feel, more than ever, even though, judging, as I always say, by our league table position and our current form, it shouldn't really be, but it's a very difficult situation. I'm going to try and make light of it. Let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that he picked to start the match. Well, here we go. No better place to start than we keep craving a more Millwall type side, a more attacking side. And 3 games ago, he gave it to us, didn't he? He went 2 up front, away from Hull. I don't know why, after so long being stuck in his ways, that he came away from that. And apparently at Hull, I wasn't there, we had a good go. However, we did lose the game by 2-1. He carried on with that and he kept faith in it for last week's game against Birmingham at home. And again, I didn't get a chance to do a post-match. I was at the game, but just circumstances and other work commitments I had, I couldn't do it. But I wish I had done, because we was absolutely fantastic. Start to finish, praise to the manager. We went out and we looked like a Millwall side who, won't always win games, but will give everything we can at home and make it as difficult as we can for the opposition, intimidating in their faces. We attack with pace, and I feel with the 2 up front now, with Bradshaw and a Phobie, with Jennings behind, gives us that injection of pace that we do need. And we won the game by 3-1, and it was absolutely superb. I mean, let's be honest, it could have been 5 or 6. So, now we come away to lowly Peterborough. 7 games without a win, 5 defeats in those 7, 2 draws, and I think no goals in 3 or 4 games before yesterday. And I'm always a great believer in, let teams worry about what we can do. Let's not go and shit ourselves before we can kick to football and worry about what they can offer us. We know if we go and give a good account of ourselves and play like we did against Birmingham, we'll turn these over. And I think in Rowett's defence, that's all he could, probably no team talk needed. We're seeing this, I sold out to away fans, the players are buzzing, can't wait to have us all there, blah, blah, blah. A lot of Mill fans are using it as their Christmas drink. You did get the feeling the writing was on the wall. However, I didn't slip into that as I usually do, and I did predict a 3-3 draw, which, on a point on reflection, absolutely, I would have taken. In Rowett's defence, as I've said, he's got his 2 strikers, both scoring goals. He's got his 2 central midfielders who have formed a decent little partnership in the last couple of games. He's got his skipper and Murray Wallace in the back doing well. He's got Jeb Wallace and Malone wide. And we're looking good. We ain't lost many games. We're difficult to beat. But now we're starting to score a few as well. Starting to create a few chances. As I said, could have scored 5 or 6 at home to Birmingham. So Rowett's got into that game. And I didn't think he'd do it. I think he'll stick with 2 up top at home. But away from home, he'll go back to the 1 up top. Because it does work for us. I know it's not always interesting and exciting, but away from home, we have got a lot of good results throughout Rowett's tenure by playing 1 up front. But he stuck with it, and he hasn't really worried too much about Peterborough. Now the game starts, and it's a bit of a nothing game. And Peterborough, shout out to Peterborough, by the way, you're a team that likes to pop the ball about. So for your own benefit, get your fucking pitch sorted, because it's absolutely atrocious. And I thought, when I saw the pitch, obviously, little club in this division, no disrespect to Peterborough, because you've beaten us yesterday. That's not being spawny. You're new to the division, you're trying to stay in it. But I thought they're going to, it's going to be boggy, horrible pitch, horrible conditions. But they tried to play football on what was a terrible, terrible pitch. And we just didn't really try to do anything. Look, I can take the defeat, as I'm sure Mill fans could as well. It's the lack of interest in the game. I spoke to Peter O'Mara on the phone this morning. He said it was reminiscent, possession-wise, of the day we lost to Fulham 4-0 under Neil Harris's reign, and they popped us to death. We couldn't get the ball off Peterborough. And I did notice that at the time, and I said it in my live stream. It seems like we're just content to let them have it. And if we need to pick them off, we can. But we're just going to stay strong, stay compact, stay organised. And we look like we just look like the more experienced team. Despite them knocking the ball around nicely. And I know but it wasn't really hurting us. But that will only go for so long. But they didn't really have many shots to start with. And we score a goal, which is actually, watching it back again today, it's a very fucking good goal. It's a really good goal. Ball gets played out, I think, by Murray Wallace into Scott Malone. One touch quickly out of his feet, helps it down the line to Jed Wallace. Jed reads the bounce better than their defender. Knocks it past him, great pace, cuts it back. Tom Bradshaw finishes 5 goals in 7 games. You can't argue with that. You can't do any more than that. Now, at this point, after that, I thought, well, I might get a little bit of a foothold on the game now. Start dictating play. And we didn't do that. And that was across the pitch. 2 players played well yesterday. Tom Bradshaw and Bulkowski. Other than that, I thought everyone was terrible, if I'm honest. I thought it was all bad. Some more than others, but, you know, I can't pin the defeat on one person as a whole. I can't pin it on a team player, and I can't pin it on Gary Rowett. So, you know, even when we scored, I just thought, oh, that's all right. I just felt it was comfortable. I don't know why. Maybe, you know, well, I obviously misjudged it because we lost the fucking game. But they start coming, free kick, flicks on, Bart, good 2 hands. And you know you've got a couple in the tank, don't you? When you've got Bart in goal, you know, the big dog's our keeper. We know he's going to make a few good saves and protect that lead. But this is, for me, where Rowett got it wrong, because we didn't make any threat whatsoever in that entire first half. I think we had a free kick that Jed Wallace hit into the wall, where Afobe got brought down when he was running out wide towards the corner flag. Got brought down on the corner of the box, free kick, Jed Wallace into the wall. At half-time, you know, you don't know what goes on in the change room, but there's got to be some sort of, yes, we're winning the game, but what's going on out there? This will be me as Rowett. Boys, we're in front, but I don't know what's really going on. We've defended okay, but they're getting a lot of the ball. And what they was, again, when I always say let teams worry about us, should we have worried about them because they had Dembele and Smodic who were dropping deep, pulling off the strikers, and they was in that pocket in behind the midfielders, pulling off the defenders. So I don't know whether that's why we were sitting deep or we couldn't seem to track them. But eventually, look, the writing was on the wall. It was going to come. And at half-time, I think, mate, they'll have these chats surely where Rowett will have a chat and maybe if a senior player or two want to have their say. And I think that they'll say, look, we've got to go this game or something's not going to happen. It's not working. They're getting too much joy, too much of the ball, and it will only continue for so long. And in Rowett's criticism now, because I defended him yesterday, the one thing, I did mention this briefly in my full-time reaction, but I didn't really go into it. The issue I had with Rowett there was he's waited until we've conceded to change it. I would have gone at half-time and gone, right, if we ain't changed in 10 minutes, you ain't sorted it out on the pitch, as in got a foothold in the game, sorted yourselves out, got a bit of shape back, get us up the pitch a bit and start causing them a few problems, I'm going to have to change it because it's not going to continue. They're going to score. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. And after that 10 minutes, when it didn't happen, I think you can then make a substitution. It's one of the few times you'll make a substitution when you're winning a game. Because we was winning the game, but it was a bit of a false thing, wasn't it? Because we was terrible, but we was winning. But I would have gone, right, I don't know how the fuck we've got to an hour, 1-0 up, but we have. But now we've got to consolidate now and we've got to stop this sheer amount of possession they're having. And he didn't do it and they continued to have it and then they scored 2 goals. The first goal over the top, actually, I watched it back loads of times today. It's actually a Danny McNamara own goal. They come through the midfield, they breeze past George Evans, like he's not even there. And a little dink over the top. Defence to blame, I don't know. I just think, honestly, that was a little bit of a decent ball in behind. Danny Mack's unlucky because he's covered in an area when he absolutely shouldn't have had to have been. 3 centre-halves got caught out by 1 ball and it's 1-1. Own goal off Danny McNamara. And then after that, the second goal was the one that stunned me because they took a corner. Bart's come, 2 fists, bang, to the back post. And it's gone piddly now. And they've gone strolling out like they're on playing a Sunday league game. 2 of them have gone out and we ain't gone out quick enough. One's retrieved it, played it to his mate, crossed back in. I think it's Sean Hutchinson. I thought it was yesterday. I wasn't sure it was Murray Wallace or Jake Cooper. It's actually Sean Hutchinson. I don't know what the skipper's doing. I think he's been missed. He's been caught out by the flight of a flick on. He's gone for an hot dog in the stands. And their striker, the substitute, is there at the back post to tap it home for 2-1. But even after that, I just thought that's it now. Game over because we showed no urgency in the game. We showed no desire, no commitment to go forward, no togetherness, no patterns of play, no excitement, no pace. Just everything we had last week at home to Birmingham, we didn't have yesterday. Oh, wow, Peterborough, sorry, I'm sweating. That's the COVID. I've just got out of the shower. And I'm absolutely dripping. But I wanted to talk about the game today. And we're going to talk about it in a podcast and sort of wrap the season so far. A few of the boys queuing up to do a podcast. We couldn't get it done today. So it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. We'll bring back the Den debate. But, you know, where does the blame lie? You know, I wasn't there yesterday, and obviously when I do the live streams, I have the volume turned down. But I'm hearing from the boys, you know, people chanting "Row it out, Gary Rowett, your football is shit." And I think I see something from Nick Hart at Tongue, or a comment on one of his boys has said that he's Row it out as well, and it's just very vanilla. It's not a Millwall existence, is it? But we should be happy where we are. But we're not. But I don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't know who to blame yesterday. Rowett 100% seeing the possession and the way the game was going after an hour when we was 1-0 up. He should have realised at this point the players ain't going to get a fucking hold of this, and I'm going to have to make a decision. But he didn't. That's the only criticism I've had of him for yesterday. He should have changed it, and he waited. He reacted, didn't he? He didn't. You know, he didn't go positive and go, right, I'm going to change the game here. I'm going to change the thought process. They're going to score. I'm going to stop happening. He waited until they scored, made a pointless triple substitution. Shea Ojo, I don't know how he's ever been a Liverpool player because he can't even fucking strike a ball properly. Matt Smith doesn't score any goals anymore off the bench. That's nothing against him. That's just a fact. He just doesn't do his job as an impact sub anymore. Mason Bennett, waste of time. But look, we have got good players in this squad. But I think to a point, the players have got to be held accountable yesterday, because they just haven't turned up. And there's only so much training, preparation, short corners you can practice and things like that. They should be buzzing going into that game yesterday off the back of last week against Birmingham. And they wasn't. Now, is that there something in the dressing room now? Because I always felt that maybe they didn't want to play for Rowett because it comes across quite clearly that Rowett had no belief in their abilities to try and win football matches. Now he's given them that little bit of, go on then, go and win a football match. We've gone backwards again, and he's criticised them again in the press yesterday, and he said he was embarrassed. So if he was embarrassed, he's lying at the feet of the players. And I think, as I said, to an extent, they have to take a little bit of responsibility yesterday. People saying yesterday as well about, you know, players not playing well. I'll always go straight to the senior pros, okay? That'll be my first port call. It won't be Danny Mack scored an own goal. It won't be Billy Mitchell had a bad game, which he did yesterday, and he was the first one I've seen him where he wasn't on it yesterday. My blame would be, right, where's fucking your skipper here? Where's Hutchinson? Who always plays well, right? Where's fucking Malone? Where's Jeb Wallace? These are the players we need to, when things ain't going well, go, well, fucking Billy Mitchell ain't playing very well. He's 19 years old. He's not. I know he likes to demand the ball and you know, control the game and take the responsibility. But you've got to look at your senior pros here. And yesterday they've all gone missing. Jed's been missing for weeks. However, having saying Jed's been missing for weeks, and a lot of people have been saying it, and I thought Jed was shit again yesterday. When you actually look at what Jed's done in the last few games, he's not been super Jed, has he? Where he's been bending free kicks in the top corner. He set up the goal yesterday. He set up 2 out the 3 against Birmingham. He's set up loads of goals, so he's doing his bit, but he's just not as prolific as he once were. And him and Malone are involved in the goals, but they're not doing a lot else. But do they need to do a lot else? Because that's their job, to provide for the goal scorers. Afobe and Bradshaw. And Bradshaw again yesterday proves why. For those saying, well, why do you think he's good? He scored 15 goals in 100 games. Tell me how many of them 100 games he's played in a 2-striker format. Tell me how many of them games he started as a striker. It's the proof's in the pudding, mate. And again, he scored, and he's going to get a new contract. Fair play to him. That'll be one positive to take out yesterday. He thought he was brilliant, and he at the end almost scored a second, didn't he? But we huffed and puffed. We didn't really huff and puff, did we? I was about to say we huffed and puffed. We didn't even really huff and puff after they scored. It wasn't good enough. I thought it was bad watching it on the box. The people there are absolutely fuming. I said we're going to do a podcast going forward. So a 2-1 defeat, and again, you don't mind the defeats. Look, I'm used to this now, and people won't realise, surely you've all realised that we beat the teams we shouldn't beat, and then we lose to the ones that we should. And that was a prime example yesterday. Peterborough in the relegation zone have not won in 7 or 8 games, can't score any goals, and of course, Millwall come to town, we make them look like fucking Brazil. We completely allowed them to dictate that game, start to finish. Some of the senior pros have got to stand up and be counted there. Absolutely got to stand up and be counted. Jed should be in the central, dropping deep and dragging us up the pitch, and he wasn't. He just went and stood on the wing. So yeah, frustrating day, but I'm used to it. It is what it is under Rowett. It's never going to change. But again, was it Rowett's fault yesterday, or was it the players? First and foremost for me, it was the players. You've got to take a little bit of responsibility. You've all played thousands of football matches across the board between you. You're full of confidence, allegedly coming off the back of a good win against Birmingham, and you've got to take the game to Peterborough in front of a good away following. It's job done. Even when we wasn't playing, when we scored, right, okay, can we now start playing, please, and get our foot on the ball and start dictating the play and getting up the pitch and causing them a few problems. Nothing, just literally nothing. But then, when it wasn't working, Rowett, for once, maybe showed too much trust in them and gone, no, look, this ain't working. We shit. We 1-0 up, but we've been fucking useless. And I can't watch this anymore because we're going to end up losing the game. And I won't have that on me. So, right, off you come. Let's go more compact. Let's get higher up the pitch. We'll fucking bore it out for the last half an hour. And that would have been fine. But it didn't happen. We lose the game. Some people chanting Rowett out on the way home. Are you Rowett out or are you Rowett in? It is amazing we're even talking about this. And like I'll point back to, during COVID, 10 games without a win, which extended to 14 when we was 3-0 down at Middlesbrough in 20 minutes. And I said I wanted him out and you all said I was fucking mad. He never would have lasted through lockdown. This is the proof now. I think we're 9th in the table, 10th in the table, and people are calling for his head off the back of like 4 defeats in 16 or something like that. But there you go. I've got through it. The COVID's now melting me into a small pulp. I'll be back, because I'm housebound till Friday. I'll be back in the week. We're going to do a den debate, discuss that in more depth, discuss the season so far in more depth. And of course, I'll be back for a preview on Thursday for the final game before Christmas against Preston North End at the Den. I'll see you there if you're going. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.